Now to the water crisis impacting First Nations in Canada. An organization representing 34 First Nations in Manitoba is calling for an inquiry into how the federal government reviews major infrastructure projects. A joint investigation that includes Global News has been examining how outdated policies have forced many First Nations to cope on their own. Krista Hessey reports.
The Southern Chiefs organization says federal officials often force First Nations to work with substandard firms in order to save money, especially on key water projects. Now the group representing Anishinaabe and Dakota First Nations in Manitoba wants an inquiry.
They're getting away with this because when they screw up on their projects, there's no consequences for that. The government isn't penalizing.
This comes after a joint investigation by Global News, APTN News, and the Institute for Investigative Journalism. It found a number of examples of First Nations who said the government forced them to select the lowest bidding contractor for their water projects. As a result, many said they were forced to deal with shoddy work, delays, cost overruns, and racism.
It sure isn't in the interest of the taxpayer. It's not in the interest of the First Nation. And if it's going to continue, then, just be prepared to realize that we're going to be wasting money here.
The Chiefs also say that navigating through federal bureaucracy can be a nightmare.
The fact is that until First Nations are in control of their own futures, as it relates to planning around water and just infrastructure overall, whether it's housing, school systems, recreational facilities, you're not going to get a return on investment that you should.
The Southern Chiefs organization proposed its own regional water authority, but says federal officials have not offered them much support.
We don't even have the funding in the bank yet. We have on paper, we are committed to working with you. That's what we have.
That there are project plans.
Indigenous Services Minister Mark Miller disputes evidence and testimony uncovered by Global News and its partners about the harm caused by the department's low bid policy.
There is a value for money proposition in any procurement process that follows best industry practices, but this isn't about going with the cheap option. It's going with the option that suits the First Nation.
At the same time, the minister admits federal policies are rooted in racism and need to be changed, but he doesn't know how long this will take. Krista Hessey, Global News.